Bang, 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 bang. Bang, 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 bang. It's season 3, episode 64. My name is Michael Marcani. I'm the host with the most. I'm here with my boy, Tyler Revelis and Anthony Revelis. Tyler's also known as It's Your Boy T. Anthony's also known as Falcon Punch.
Or It's Your Boy A.
Your boy A and your boy T.
Same last name, but we're not related, by the way.
AT&T. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. But it is a pretty common name, so I get it.
Yeah.
Today we're doing waiver wire. We're going into week 8. Week 7 is done. It's in the books. I just want to say we were pretty accurate on a lot of our start sits. I said it a little bit before we started recording the podcast. For video, people, you can stop touching my face.
Dude, I got to warm my fingers up to get my throat warm.
But we were pretty accurate on our start sits.
So. No, we were just finger blasting the fuck out of your face.
Tyler was probably the most inaccurate, but we...
Whoa, chill.
I mean, we crunched the numbers, dude. It's just 1 week. It's all right.
Listen, dude, really, you said don't start Gronk.
That was the one bad one I had.
And what do I have?
I said
Williams.
Start Joe Burrow.
Mike Williams was bad. I'll take that one. He's dead to me.
Hey, do you guys want to make out or what? Or are we going to do the show?
Yeah, let's get...
Listen, I think we all think we had some good starts. Obviously, you can't go undefeated perfect unless you're the 72 Dolphins.
I think Anthony's the ballsiest sit was Josh Jacobs. He did it in his own league. I will give you credit. That was pretty, horny.
I mean,
it's not that
it's not. It's generally speaking, you're probably not going to sit Josh Jacobs. But when you looked at the matchup, the offensive line not practicing all week, and I was able to pick up someone like Gio, who I knew was going to be a workhorse in that matchup. I mean, I don't want to say it was. It made the decision a little bit easier.
By the way, Bucks fans, chill out.
Yeah, come on.
Still let him put up 20 points. Anyways, yeah. So we're gonna go over waiver wire. We go into week 8, who to pick up, all that good stuff. If you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're trying to help us reach our goal so we can start monetizing some videos. Also, subscribe to us on the Apple Podcast app. If you haven't already, go ahead and leave us a review and rating. I keep reading these out at the end of the podcast, so if you want to get featured in the end, leave us a review on the Apple Podcast app. But yeah, waiver wire. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Bad the wire.
Let's bad the wire.
Let's bad the wire.
So for waiver wire, we always do quarterback, running back, wide receivers, and then tight ends. We're going to start with quarterbacks. We got Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, you got your boy Teddy Bridgewater over here. Put up a decent game last week against the Saints, but this week he's playing at home against the Atlanta Falcons. They're the defense that keeps on giving. They've given up 310 or more passing yards in every single game. Last time Teddy Bridgewater played against the Falcons back in week 5, he put up 313 yards and 2 touchdowns. This time they play, he's going to be at home. I do like Teddy Bridgewater this week as a streaming option for quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, picking up quarterbacks is usually we kind of look at it like streams, so... Yeah.
I mean, the waiver wire is pretty thin. I mean, I'm probably going to have to, in 1 or 2 leagues, I have Kyler Murray on a bye, so I'm looking from like the streaming options this week. It's like a wasteland. I mean, it's Teddy Bridgewater, and then you're looking at guys like, and this is like elite leagues where people do pick up a lot of quarterbacks, so this might give people some. It's like Teddy Bridgewater, or I'm looking at like Drew Lock or Sam Darnold, so it gets ugly pretty fast. But at least I know Teddy Bridgewater, while he doesn't have the highest ceiling, he has a pretty safe floor in a matchup against the Falcons. I'm not mad at it. I am considering Baker just because of possible upside. I mean, Teddy Bridgewater only has 1 game with more than 2 touchdowns and a lot of games with 1. So the upside for me is kind of limited. So, but the matchup is there. So, but the Falcons defense has been playing better as of late. I mean, they did kind of shut Kirk Cousins down for the majority of that game. He got a lot of garbage time. And then, I mean, Matthew Stafford, I think 70 of those yards came on the last drive. So, and 1 of those touchdowns. So that defense has been playing a little better. So that's a little bit of a minor red flag.
Yeah, minor red flag. Okay. Move on to the next one here. We got
Tua Tagovailoa.
Tua Tagovailoa. He's making his official start in the NFL. Well, technically, he played in that other game. That was really funny when you're like, that was the greatest handoff.
Oh, yeah. So, dude, look at how straight his arm was. It was like, that was pristine
Anthony
technique.
was recording it on his phone, and he said, bro, you see that handoff, dog? He was like, fucking right there. But, yeah, he gets his first official start. That's pretty exciting for you guys.
Yeah, and I mean, for fantasy purposes, I mean, if he's there on the waiver wire, I mean, we've seen Justin Herbert kind of, break out and be a top 10 quarterback so far on the year. I mean, Joe Burrow's kind of had some good games. So, I mean, Tua was drafted ahead of these guys. Yeah. I mean, so you got to, on the assumption that, he's going to be right there with those guys, he could be a useful streaming quarterback, if not maybe potentially week to week.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is kind of like, I don't want to say homer pick. Obviously me and Anthony were Dolphins fans, but I do like me some
Tua Tagovailoa.
I mean, I know he's taking over Fitzmagic, and a lot of people who they'll ask me like, how do you feel about Tua taking over for Fitz? Because he's been playing good, and I'm like, he's been playing okay, honestly. Like, I feel like his numbers are better than what he's been playing. He's been actually pretty inaccurate. I mean, he literally just drops back and throws the ball. But yeah, I think you should go grab Tua and just throw him on your bench. I mean, it's kind of a tougher matchup against Aaron Donald and the Rams defense week 1, but they have had an extra week to prepare coming off the bye. But I mean, Fitzpatrick before going into the bye was QB 11 on the season, and he had 23 or more fantasy points in 4 of the 6 games that he played for the Dolphins. In my opinion, I think Tua is a better quarterback than Ryan Fitzpatrick. I think people kind of have slept on Tua, with the hip injury and getting banged up and stuff like that. Like I said, it's probably a homer pick here, but I mean, watching this little documentary on Tua the other day, you just forget how good that guy is and how good of a football player he is. Like, he really knows how to read a defense. His accuracy is on point. He runs the RPO really good. So, yeah, I do like Tua. And I feel like if Fitzpatrick could do that good, I think Tua can do just as good, if not better, going forward for the Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, I generally look through a very unbiased lens. I don't care if it's my team or not. But, yeah, I mean, Fitzpatrick was leaving a lot of points on the field, to Tyler's point. I mean, he possibly cost us, the game against Seattle. I mean, we were in that game. He threw a couple picks on some boneheaded plays. Even San Francisco and the Jets, or the Jets specifically, 0 for like 16 on third downs. I mean, I would assume Tua could do better than that. He's made some even against Buffalo, a couple, like there was a pick on a play. It's just like he's made a lot of boneheaded plays and left a lot of points in the field. And, I mean, like Tyler said, I think Tua can do the same, if not even better.
I like Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I do like Ryan Fitzpatrick.
I mean, yeah, it's like
No, I know.
Nobody dislikes Ryan Fitzpatrick. I mean, he's a gunslinger, and in terms of like fantasy, like he's putting up points for him, and then he puts up points for a lot of the fantasy players and options that he has to throw the ball to. But I think who's a better quarterback and who's the future for the Dolphins? It's obviously Tua. So I'm not mad at the Dolphins making this move. Yeah,
because I think I'll just make this real short. We move on. I think if we're gonna take that next step, and we're 3-3 right now, and our schedule is actually pretty. It's a pretty decent schedule. Miami can make the playoffs and make a playoff run. I don't think Ryan Fitzpatrick takes us over that hump. I think Tua could do it, and that's the difference. And I think that's where the Dolphins made the decision. Is like, look, Fitzpatrick is making these plays, these interceptions, and he's he's lost some close games, and it's like they're like maybe they see practice and they see Tua, and they think that he could take him to the next level. So, I mean, we saw Deshaun Watson do it in his rookie year. Some of these guys where they just come out and they ball.
Yeah.
They bow.
All right.
Yeah, let's move on to the next one here. We got Carson Wentz.
I just want to throw Wentz in here. I mean, he's available in like 1/3 of leagues, so he's more owned than not. But, I mean, we kind of touched on it going into the Thursday night matchup. It's been ugly for Wentz. The O-line's been banged up, the lack of offensive weapons because everyone's hurt. Ertz, Goddard, Deshaun Jackson comes back for 5 plays. He gets hurt. Alshon Jeffries, I don't know what he's doing there. He's just a professional practice player. Reagor's banged up. He's supposed to come back. But, yeah, Wentz has been getting it done, putting up some fantasy points despite the lack of weapons. And it's because he's running the ball. Mike, you had that nice little bet on Thursday night.
Oh, yeah.
Who would score the first touchdown for the game, and you picked Carson Wentz, and that was because we went over how he was getting it done on the ground. He had 4 rushing touchdowns coming into the game. He scores the first touchdown of the game, so now he's got 5 rushing touchdowns on the year. That's the second most in the NFL, just behind Kyler Murray. So he's got more rushing touchdowns than Lamar Jackson, more rushing touchdowns than Josh Allen, more than Deshaun Watson. And Carson Wentz is not known to be this rushing quarterback. But, yeah, this week he's going to be at home against the Dallas Cowboys. Enough said.
He's the kind of quarterback who just like he doesn't give a shit, doesn't care about his body. He'll just like throw his body. That's how he injured himself his first year. I don't know if you guys remember. You remember? All right, we can move on to the running backs here. We got first one here, Chase Edmonds. If Chase Edmonds is available, go get him.
Yeah, I'd actually spend a decent amount of fab on Chase Edmonds.
Yeah.
I'd wait to get an official injury because they have a bye this week, so I don't want to spend too much. And then Drake's expected to be back maybe the week. I want to kind of read some more injury reports, but I think it's going to be at least multiple weeks. But I mean, if you're a team that's 2-5, right? 2-5 or even 3-4. I mean, you need to get some wins. I wouldn't mind spending pretty heavy on fab because Chase Edmonds could be a difference maker, even if it's for 1 or 2 weeks, and he could be the reason that you get pushed to 5-5 and make the playoffs, and then you go from there. So I mean, he's looked like the better running back, and it wouldn't even surprise me if he keeps that job. If he goes out for 2 weeks and performs, and they push Drake to the side and say, "Hey, we're going to roll with Chase Edmonds," because they're making a real playoff push. So I think he has potentially even more than just the short term when Drake comes back. I think he actually has long term value.
Yeah, this could be the best, or maybe next to Mike Davis, just kind of off the top of my head, of thinking like who are the most impactful or the most valuable waiver wire pickups of the season so far. Obviously, Mike Davis has been balling over there for the Panthers. But yeah, Chase Edmonds, he's got top 10 upside. I mean, they were splitting the snaps. It was like 65% Drake, 35% Edmonds. Edmonds being more of the pass catcher, third down back, and Drake being the primary ball carrier, I guess as we can call him, because he wasn't getting any type of targets. But I mean, if Drake's going to be out now with the ankle injury, and the early reports are that he's a slight tear in one of his ankle ligaments, to me, that just doesn't sound good. And when I think of a slight tear, it's like the only way that tear is going to get better is if he has surgery to put it back together. I mean, and as a running back who you kind of need your ankles to shift, juke, stop, go, all these things, I think this could be the end of Drake in Arizona. And like Anthony said, I mean, Edmonds has looked like the better running back, and maybe he just needed the opportunity to finally get it done. We saw last year in one game, Edmonds had like the full workload. I think he had like 3 touchdowns.
He had a
that monster game. I will say they did draft Eno Benjamin, so I'm curious if he gets involved. I'm not saying go pick him up or anything like that, but you know,
just
I could see. I just can't. I think they will. I don't think they're just going to be like, all right, Chase Edmonds, take every single rep.
I don't know. I mean, the coaching staff has showed for like I'm trying to look for a smart word, but I'm not going to get it out. They've shown that they'll workhorse. I mean, a running back. What they've done with Drake. I mean, Chase Edmonds had the one game back then, so it's kind of like the Mike Tomlin effect, where it's like if I have a coaching staff that has a history of just saying, okay, like we'll give him a full workload, I'm not going to say it can't happen. But I mean, keep an eye out on the name, like you said.
Yeah. All right, we can move on to the next one here. We got Boston Scott. You forgot the Eagles played on Thursday, all right? But
yeah.
Scott did score a touchdown.
Yeah, which saved his day.
He really did.
I mean, I think Miles Sanders could be back this week. So it's like if he's there and no one picked him up, I mean, I don't think I would burn a waiver priority on him. I mean, he hasn't looked the greatest in his starts, to say the least. I mean, like I said, he caught that. That was like 20-yard touchdown, which saved his day potentially. Outside of that, I don't think it was a very good day for him. So I'm not burning a first waiver priority with the fact that Miles Sanders could be back this week. But, I mean, if he's there and Miles Sanders is out and you need a spot start running back, that's where you can use Boston Scott. Yeah,
I mean, I know like you said the late touchdown kind of saved the day. He did get snaked on the first touchdown. They did look a little RPO or with Wentz, and Wentz took it. So Scott could have had a little 1-yard touchdown there. But, I mean, he played 69% of the snaps with no Miles Sanders. He had 15 touches. The other running backs combined only had 5. So, you know, it was kind of the Boston Scott show there with no Miles Sanders. They do have a bye in Week 9. So I'm just a little curious if maybe they just hold out Miles Sanders one more game, because if he misses Week 8, then he's got Week 9 on the bye, and just extra time for Miles Sanders to really rest and recover. To me, I feel like there's no reason to rush him back into action when the bye is right around the corner. So I think that Miles Sanders will miss this week. So yeah, I'd go out and get Boston Scott. He's got good RB2 value if Miles Sanders sits out.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think I'd burn the first waiver priority if I had it on him.
Yeah, it's Edmonds. Edmonds is
is a different
top
story,
waiver priorities of the year.
You should pick him up in our marquee league.
I think I am.
Oh, I have him.
Oh, Edmonds? Oh, I thought you were talking about Boston Scott.
Yeah.
But good job.
Thanks, Dad.
I like it.
All right, let's move on to the next one here. We got Gio Bernard. You started Gio Bernard over Josh Jacobs.
Well, I started the Italian Giovani.
Oh, Giovani.
Yeah, they're different.
Oh,
well, he has the mustache. See, this one doesn't have the
excuse me.
mustache.
Yeah.
They're different guys.
Yeah, I like that mustache.
If you have the
Yeah,
Yahoo,
switch it
or
up.
what is it, Yahoo, ESPN, right?
Their ESPN one has.
I know
an
Yahoo has
insane
it too.
picture.
He's got like this mean-ass
There he is.
mustache.
He's got a touchdown right there.
Yeah, I mean, the dude's been, I think Tyler pointed it out too. I mean, the dude's been good every time. I think you went back and looked at the numbers, right, with him. I mean, he's been good every time he's gotten the starting role. I mean, Joe Mixon, we don't know if he's going to be back yet or not. I think reports are trending towards him being out again more than likely. So if he's there, pick him up, start him. Plain and
It's
simple.
so weird
Cut and dry.
when you have a backup that's so good that, like, why even and then, like, why do you even have a guy like Joe Mixon? Why don't you just make him your starter?
I mean, yeah, I think
You know what I mean? Like, if he's able to perform every single time, like, all right, it's your time to get shine. Oh, we got a sick backup. He never fucks up. It's like, all right, then why don't you just start it? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not saying Joe Mixon, he's better than Joe Mixon, but I'm just saying it's like you could probably save some money.
No, for sure. Yeah,
You
I mean,
know?
and they paid Giovani. They paid him a decent amount. He's probably one of the highest paid backup running backs who, I mean, we've seen Mixon get 25 plus touches the last couple weeks, you know. So he's one of the highest paid backup running backs that doesn't really get involved. But like Mike, what you said, when he's given the opportunity, you know, 15 or plus touches, I think it was, you know, he's constantly putting up fantasy production right there. So yeah, he played 76% of the snaps. He had 18 touches, 96 yards in the touchdown. You know, Joe Mixon, he's dealing with the foot injury still. They have a bye in Week 9 as well. So I'm thinking another scenario, like I said, with Miles Sanders and Boston Scott. I don't see why you would rush back Mixon, especially after paying him $60 million or $50 million, whatever it was. They just paid him a ton of money. Why would you rush him back where he could possibly re-aggravate or further injure the foot when Giovani could get it done? So I'm thinking that Mixon misses this week as well. Then they have the Week 9 bye. So you should probably get another week out of Giovani.
All right, let's move on to the next one here. We got Carlos Hyde.
Hey, it's Carlos.
Hey.
This is the all Italian episode. Hey, it's Carlos.
Carlos is like a Hispanic name.
Maybe he's Italian. I know Carlos is Italian.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's
Actually,
talk
I don't.
about Carlos Hyde.
That's right. I was like, do I? No, it's still Latin roots, so go eat a Hyde.
All right, so Chris Carson shot himself in the foot.
He trip.
Fell on his dick. And here's the thing. I feel like Carlos Hyde's going to be more available than some of these other guys that we talked about.
Yeah, you have a better shot of getting high in the leagues I've looked through that I play in. I mean, it's only 3, so it's not a lot, but he's been there, I think, in all of them.
Yeah, he's 89% or more available. Carlos Hyde is in Yahoo, NFL, and ESPN.
Yeah, I did read in the injury report, though, that he had a hamstring or a thigh or
Yeah.
groin or something in the lower body area that got hurt.
He's got the knee, coach.
He's got the knee. Or it was a knee. No, that's Homer.
He's got a hamstring.
So he's got a hamstring, and then so and he's the other backup that threw me off. Sorry, the other backup, Travis Homer, he's got a knee. So I mean, I do think Carlos Hyde is worth the ad. You do got to read the injury reports, but the deeper ad for me would be DJ Dallas. If the off chance that like this is don't burn much money, put $1 in it, or just once the waivers run, go pick him up at 1:31 a.m. or whatever time it goes off. In your leagues, but I mean, if potentially Carlos Hyde could potentially miss the game too with a quad, and then even Travis Homer. I mean, DJ Dallas would be the lone running back left in the depth chart.
Yeah.
So this is just deeper. But if Carlos Hyde plays, I mean, I think he's a solid RB2. If he's playing this week.
I saw something on Twitter earlier. It was like, don't look now, but I don't know what team he was on, but CJ Prosise got released, and they were like, oh, Seattle, and like they did like the eyes. Go pick him up.
I don't think he could play though because he needs 5 days.
Yeah, I know. It was just funny. But yeah, I mean, Carlos Hyde, like I said, mid-foot sprain is what Chris Carson has been diagnosed with on Monday Night Football. I saw him on the sideline. They like panned him, and he was like smiling, laughing. So for me, that makes it seem like maybe it wasn't too serious. 'Cause I can't imagine a guy who just got seriously injured would be smiling and giggling like a little schoolgirl on the sideline with his friends. But yeah, Carlos Hyde, I mean, just kind of monitor like Anthony Sexty is dealing with a minor hamstring strain, and then Homer's banged up. So yeah, DJ Dallas might be the sneaky guy where you don't have to burn a waiver priority or any fab. Maybe you just put $1 on him, like Anthony said, and you can sneak through right there because I think everyone's going to be going out to get Carlos Hyde. But if he was to miss, Carson was to miss, then yeah, DJ Dallas would be a nice sneaky play this week.
Dude, I think Mike should clip
Sneaky.
where you just call Chris Carson a little schoolgirl and then post that and tag him and see what he thinks about it.
Yeah, he is a schoolgirl. All right, let's move on to the next one here. We got Lamical Perine. Lamical Perine for the New York
Brother?
Jets.
No, he's cousin of, what's his name? Samaje Perine.
Samaje
We actually
Perine.
got some snaps this week.
Yeah, got to him.
Is he really?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
They're also he's cousins with
Lil Wayne.
Jamycal Hasty.
The first name, that's what it is. The first name relation.
Yeah.
I got you. Lamical Perine, he had a decent game against the Buffalo. I'm trying to pull up his stats, his numbers real quick. Do you have it on hand or no?
No, I was going to say is that, with Le'Veon Bell being released, we kind of expected Lamical Perine to be more involved. In the last two games, since Bell's been gone, 58% of the snaps and then 70% of the snaps last week. Obviously, Frank the Tank isn't going away anytime soon. Adam Gase just has a secret love affair for Frank Gore. And, for what it's worth, Frank Gore still gets the job done, I guess, in terms of it's not sexy, but I feel like Frank Gore never loses yards.
Yeah, if I saw that guy on the field, if I didn't know it was Frank Gore, if he had a blank jersey, I would know it's Frank Gore because I've seen him for fucking 30 years. But if he had a blank jersey with no name and number, I'd be like, oh, dude, that guy's not bad. At his age, he wouldn't be a guy.
Who's that young buck out there?
I wouldn't see him be like, is that Kalen Ballage?
Yeah, but if there's one Jets running back here, I'll go grab Lamical Perine. Just getting majority of the snaps the last two games since Bell's been released. Finds the end zone last week. Obviously, I think we touched on it when the news first broke that Le'Veon Bell was getting released. Mike, we touched on the waiver wire episode that Gase didn't want Le'Veon Bell, but Gase drafted Lamical Perine, so there's obviously a reason why they have him. So I would just, we were expecting him to be more involved going forward. So I would definitely take a shot. I know it's the Jets and it's ugly, and outside of Jameson Crowder, you probably want nothing to do with this offense. But if there's another option outside of Crowder for the Jets, Lamical Perine would be the guy that I'd be willing to take a shot on.
Yeah, and with the bye, I actually watched a lot of that game because I'm a Josh Allen owner, and I'm like, he needs John Brown back, to say the least, and they need to find a running game. But that's a separate issue. He was actually in the goal when it came to the inside the 10 or 15. Lamical Perine was in there. I don't even think I saw Frank Gore I could be wrong on this, but I don't believe I saw him take a snap from what I watched inside the red zone. So that's what you like to see when they get in there. It seems like they're using Lamical Perine. I think he had a carry inside the 5. He obviously had the red zone touchdown target. So, he's someone I had to start due to bye week. So I think he's a nice bye week guy where because of he's going to get 3-4 targets a game in a PPR, and he's going to get 10 touches or 10 to 12 carries a game. He's not going to goose you. So,
yeah.
And then if he scores, it's like a bonus that week.
For sure.
Not sexy, but just a nice piece to have.
Yeah, he's available in over 80% of leagues.
80%.
80%.
All right. We'll go on to Jamal Williams. If you got Jamal Williams this past week, you were super excited. How available is Jamal Williams?
Jamal Williams he's more owned than not. It's kind of different. 37% ESPN and Yahoo, and then 54% in NFL. It's crazy how I'll look through all these different Yahoo, NFL, ESPN, and they're just the ranges and they vary all over the place. But so yeah, he's available in some leagues.
Yeah.
Yeah, pick him up. I do think Aaron Jones plays this week. I know he wanted to play, and he says he could have played, but the Packers were like, nah, fam, it ain't happening.
Yeah.
So I think he plays, but I think you still have to add him. I just wouldn't burn a lot of money if he's there because I do think Aaron Jones is back this week. They kind of did the same thing with Devontae Adams. He was like, I'm ready to play, and they're like, no, you're 99%. You're not 100. So I think the same thing happens with Aaron Jones, which I actually think it's kind of smart that they do that. It's like make sure he's 100% healthy. Maybe he's 95% healthy, but you give him an extra week to make sure he's healthy, especially when the Packers are 5-1 and stuff like that. It's like you don't necessarily they didn't need him at 100, especially as bad as Houston's run defense was. It's like they didn't need him to win that game, and it's like now they have him at 100%. And maybe Aaron Jones would have re-aggravated something, and now maybe he does it, and you have him the rest of the season. So,
how are the Packers always kind of good?
Well, they have this guy named Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I guess.
I agree with Anthony. I think Aaron Jones comes back this week because he was kind of lobbying to play, but like you said, the Packers made the wise decision to sit him out. Jamal Williams did really well. And with Jones not sitting, Jamal Williams had 23 touches. A.J. Dillon only had 5. You know, just in terms of if you thought this could have been like a running back by committee there, A.J. Dillon was kind of non-existent. I think you should still grab Jamal Williams just to handcuff Jones, especially if you have Aaron Jones. I'm going to grab Jamal Williams to handcuff him. And then who knows, maybe he re-aggravates the injury, or for whatever reason they do keep him out another week. Then, yeah, Jamal Williams was the workhorse running back for the Packers last week, and he would probably be that again this week going forward with no Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I think a very important note to note. So a very important note to note is we're at the point of the year where it's week 8. It's like you're not going to necessarily find a waiver wire gem anymore. Like the Justin Jeffersons, these receivers, these running, they're all gone in a sense. What you're going to find is the Jamal Williams, where Aaron Jones gets hurt for substantial amount of time.
Backup.
The Giovannis, like these are the guys at this point in the year, like you need to own. Don't be holding like a wide receiver 4 or second or third defense. Like grab your hand, especially if you grab your handcuffs for your big backs, like your Aaron Jones. Grab Tony Pollard if you have Zeke. Like hold these guys because next week we're going to touch on waiver wire guys that are going to be the same as some of these receivers or whoever the next week, and these aren't game changers at this point. Like the point of game changers in a sense they're pretty much already gone. So stop holding guys that are useless. Use your handcuffs, because if you lose Aaron Jones in week 10 or 11, that could potentially cost you your season. If you would have had Jamal Williams, maybe you're okay, but now someone else has him, and that could be the difference between winning and losing the cinto. Cinto.
Let's go Tevin Coleman. What happened to Jerick McKinnon? Do you guys know what's going on?
Dude, he's resting for forever.
I don't understand that. That was the weirdest thing. Jeff Wilson was questionable. You didn't even know if he was going to play. So Mostert's on IR, Tevin Coleman's on IR. He's slated to come off IR this week. But yeah, you're thinking, okay, it's going to be the McKinnon show here. But it was just complete opposite. Jeff Wilson Jr.
Three times.
3 touchdowns. And McKinnon, what, one or two touches? It's just, I don't understand it. Maybe they're just riding the hot hand, which I understand. Maybe it makes sense. They were smacking the New England Patriots, so maybe there's just no reason to put McKinnon out there. And he's just like, let me just get this guy, get some run. Jeff Wilson Jr. because hot hand, and they were just blowing him out. But he got banged up in the game. Mostert's still on IR. So now you got Tevin Coleman coming off IR, Jamycal Hasty, which is Dre's dude, and then Jerick McKinnon. Maybe he's not resting. What's your thoughts on this 49ers backfield? Because it's like a mess. It's like Russian roulette.
It's like Russian roulette, but if the bullet hits you in the head, it's gonna explode.
I would hope so.
It's like explosive rounds.
It's explosive rounds.
Yeah, so yeah. It's Russian roulette.
If the bullet's in the chamber.
All right, this analogy's, we lost it. All right.
Well, you know what I meant. All right, someone out there listening knew what I mean. He's like, I got it. Okay, I knew what he was trying to say, but he didn't get it out.
All right.
But yeah, it's like if that bullet's spinning and it happens to be Jeff Wilson Jr. that's in that chamber and it fires off, it's gonna explode.
If this RB1 upside.
Yeah, if this week it's Jamycal Hasty, then it's like if they give him 20 carries, that bullet's it's gonna hit. So it's like I do think it's a little bit of Russian roulette. The weird part though is like Jerick McKinnon. 1 carry week 5 against Miami, 1 carry 0 yards. They gave him 1 carry, 16 snaps. It's like so like I kind of dude, okay, you're resting him, but it's like he hasn't really played the last 3 weeks. 23 snaps, 6 for 18 against the Rams, 12 so they've rested him for like 3 weeks. So it's like what? And then the next week he'll probably be the running back who gets 20 carries.
Yeah, so with that being said, are you taking, like I said, Mostert's still on IR, Jeff Wilson Jr. They're calling it a high ankle sprain, which is the same injury that Mostert has that has kept him on IR. Tevin Coleman's coming back, so it's you got Tevin Coleman, Jamycal Hasty, and McKinnon. Are you taking a shot on any of these guys, or you kind of just don't want you want your opponent to deal with the headache instead of you?
I think Tevin Coleman's probably worth a pickup because Shanahan, they did pay him to come in there and be the starter for them. I don't think Shanahan necessarily will be loyal to that by any means, but I think if one running back's going to get some steadiness of volume going forward until Raheem Mostert comes back, I think it's going to be Tevin Coleman. I do like Jamycal Hasty as an upside play if Tevin Coleman misses this week. I think he's someone where it's like I started Jeff Wilson Jr. against you in 1 week in a desperation. I was like, fuck it, threw him in there. Yeah. And he ended up scoring 2 touchdowns. I do think Jamycal Hasty could do that. So I think he's kind of a decent add too if Tevin Coleman's out this week, which I think is we need some more news, but I think it's possible he's out this week. So
you got to pick one.
Ad.
Jamycal Hasty or Tevin Coleman? You going Jamycal Hasty?
If I'm looking for a short-term answer, I'm going to go Jamycal Hasty. If I have depth at running backs and I just I need a spot start, I'm going to go Jamycal Hasty. If I'm going to go long-term for multiple weeks, I'd probably go Coleman because I think if all three are there, the one that's going to be the most trustworthy would be Coleman.
I agree.
I concur.
All right, let's move on to these Ravens running backs. We got Gus Edwards.
Gus the bus.
And we got...
He puts up a fuss.
Because Mark Ingram has a high ankle sprain, right?
Well, they're listing it as a mid to high ankle sprain. They're, like, I keep reading things that it's, quote unquote, a minor ankle sprain. But, I mean, you just don't know. I mean, obviously, like, this backfield's been gross. You got the thruple of running backs with Gus Edwards, J.K. Dobbins, and then Mark Ingram. You can't really trust any of these guys on a week-to-week basis. They're all touchdown dependent. But yeah, if Mark Ingram was to miss, the game, then obviously it would be limited to just Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. I think either one of those guys could be, like low-end RB2 values. So just something to monitor right there. If I have Mark Ingram, and I don't know, it's just gross. I wouldn't want any of these running backs unless one of them got hurt, like I said. Mark Ingram's banged up, so if he misses some time, then one of these guys is going to have some value.
Yeah. It's just
more gross. Even talking
crazy
about
we're talking
gross.
about Gus Edwards.
It's more standard value to me than PPR too because these guys don't really get a lot of targets to the running back. Lamar just doesn't throw to the running back a lot.
Dobbins has been
he has a little bit
incorporated in the past.
He has a little bit,
the most out of all three of them at least.
Yeah, but it's like a 2-3 catch upside. It's not like
well,
it's
nobody
be
when Lamar Jackson
more than
throwing
Drake.
you the ball, nobody's involved in the passing game.
Yeah, he throws for like 170 yards.
Yeah. He threw 37 times, and he's barely – like Marquise Brown had his best game, and it was like not even 100 yards.
I just think if he doesn't get better as a passer, they're never going to win a Super Bowl.
No.
Like when you play like these teams like the Steelers with that defense, the Chiefs.
Yeah, because the Pittsburgh will stop you up top or on the bottom end. Like they'll stop you in the front.
Yeah, and he's gonna have Mahomes in the division in the league for 10 years plus, and it's like you're gonna have
you got fucking this guy
Tua Tagovailoa.
You're gonna have Tua Tagovailoa.
He's in the conference now.
And it's like just if he doesn't get, even Josh Allen, you could say maybe he's had a couple like maybe they're just off weeks, but it's like some of these good quarterbacks that are young. I don't think he's ever gonna beat him if he doesn't like learn how to throw the ball more accurately.
By the way, the AFC looks better than the NFC this year.
That's the first time in a while.
Oh yeah, a while. Yeah. It's been rough.
I forgot about Tannehill too.
Oh yeah, Tanny.
Let's move on to the wide receivers here. We got my guy here. I told you to play him last week, and if you listened to Daddy, you would have had a good 23 points in PPR, a little 18.5 point PPR. We're talking about Christian Kirk right here.
Yeah, back-to-back double touchdown games. I like that.
Yeah, obviously.
I think he's kind of made himself the clear.
Like
I don't want to say the clear.
Guy.
I don't want to say the clear 2 option, but I think when you look at like over Fitz, because the targets are very similar. Actually, Fitz has a few more targets in the year, but I think for me, he's kind of more of the clear 2 because he's gotten the red zone work and he's had some deep touchdowns. And I think at this point in Larry Fitz's career, he's not breaking any 70-yard touchdowns unless the defense forgets that to cover him.
Yeah, I mean I would say Christian Kirk just gets bigger targets, like longer targets,
more valuable targets because of the deep ball, and then what
like even more than DeAndre Hopkins. To be honest, DeAndre Hopkins looks like he catches everything like behind the line of scrimmage.
He goes deep too. D-Hop's just all over the field. Did you not see the touchdown yet? Did like a 40-yard touchdown?
I was like,
but yeah, I mean Kirk's he's been hot like Hansel the last couple weeks. 5 touchdowns in the last 4 weeks. For a guy who. Coming into the season, we were talking about his touchdown upside was never really there. I think he only had like 2 or 3 touchdowns all of last year, which all came in one game. So, yeah, it's just nice to see him get a little more incorporated. Like you said, I know the targets between him and Fitz have been, pretty even. But, like you said, Kirk's is more down the field. He's that deep threat guy. He can take the top off the defense, where Fitz is more of like the short yardage PPR guy, move the chains, grab the football, and set it for the refs because they're too slow. You don't get points for that in fantasy. Yeah. You see Larry Fitz every time they catch the ball, he like runs up to the guy and he runs back to the line of scrimmage to put it down.
They should just give him a bonus point. Be like, hey, what did I get a point for? Oh, Larry Fitz was the referee.
Bro, Larry Fitz should be a ref after
a ref.
Yeah.
Don't disrespect him like that, dude.
It's his wrong meter ref. They make like $200,000 a year.
I know.
And
I'll
he'd
get
actually be able
fucking
to see versus some of these other guys who
I
are
know.
like, they get fucking knocked over and fall.
Imagine Larry Fitz just sprinting down the sideline with the
dude.
guy.
He's just he's
I
tracking
I don't want
the
to
ball.
see. I don't want to see a Hall of Fame wide receiver being a referee.
He'd be a big ass
Sorry,
referee.
that's not what I want to see. I don't want to see that.
That's so funny.
What's wrong with that, dude? Just jacked ass
No,
referees.
I
sprinting.
don't. No disrespect to referees, but I mean, I just don't want to see that.
I
I
think
don't want to see
fun.
any player. I guess there probably is some.
I was like, there's probably some. Ed Cockley was kind of jacked for a minute.
All right,
Yeah, that fool was definitely on the juice.
let's move on to it's on the TRT. Let's move on to Cole Beasley.
Dude, the Beasley, dude.
He's been sneaky.
been fucking.
He's been sneaky lately.
Yeah, I mean, if I was to tell you that Cole Beasley was wide receiver 19, would you believe it? Because I would.
Shut up.
That's wild.
That's like
In
I feel like you get
PPR?
the response 3 to 4 times. Shut up.
Yeah,
Shut
yeah.
up.
Are you fucking
Shut up.
high? Are you
Whoa,
stupid with
guys.
your stupid mohawk? That's what Mike would say to me. But yes, low key and sneakily, Cole Beasley is wide receiver 19 in PPR leagues. And I don't know what it is. It's just the name. Maybe it's John Brown's been banged up, but I mean, he's been getting it done. He's one of the most underrated players. Kind of Josh Allen's safety blanket. He's scored 10 or more PPR points in every single game this season. One was 9.8, but I'm rounding up to 10. Just give him 10 points.
I'll allow it.
I'll allow it.
I'll allow it.
I mean, it's just a safe floor each and every single week. A guy he's not, maybe he doesn't win you your week, but he's definitely not going to lose you your week. And he's available in over 70% of leagues. Wait, no, that's wrong. Over 40% of leagues.
Yeah. I mean, he's that guy where it's like with single flex. I mean, it looks like, if John Brown's out again, you got to start him. They're lacking in the run game. They're struggling on the ground. Like either Zach Moss or Singletary needs to get something going, or the both of them need to get something going, because it's not helping Josh Allen. But if John Brown's out again, I think Beasley's a pretty safe start. He's that perfect PPR, especially when you're in a dual flex guy where it's like, okay, maybe he doesn't have this massive game, but like you said, 10 points in every game. And if you're a dual flex PPR and you know that your second flex is going to get 10 points no matter what, that's just a nice safety blanket. And then if he scores, and if he has 112 and a touchdown like last week, that could win you your
cherry
week.
on top, yeah.
Yeah. So I think he's a nice roster piece.
Yeah.
By the way, I just looked it up. Christian Kirk, 15.4 yards per reception. DeAndre Hopkins is 12.4. So suck on my Chinese nuts.
That could be skewed by 180-yard touchdown.
Yeah, and D-Hop's like a couple 1-yard catches.
Okay, dude, watch. Yeah, exactly. Well,
because that's how the offense
Christian
runs.
Kirk gets 1-yard catches too.
Oh my god, dude. I just wonder, like, do you
Are you
watch the
fucking high,
game or
bro?
what?
I watch him a lot because Kyler
Why
Murray
is everyone
for a
so
while was just
fucking
throwing 4
stupid?
yards nonstop.
All right, dude. All right, let's move on to the next
Wait,
wide
are you
receiver.
comparing D-Hop and Christian Kirk right now?
I'm not saying he's better. I'm saying that I made a statement that he catches deeper balls, and
Yeah,
you
he
guys
catches
said
all the deep balls, dude.
You guys said, did you see that one time that DeAndre Hopkins got that long touchdown?
He's had a couple big
It's like
plays.
you telling me that Juju.
DeAndre
it's
Hopkins had 7 catches for 140 yards and like 2 touchdowns a couple weeks ago.
Okay,
that's 20 yards
That's
to
like
catch.
you telling me that Juju, is a deep ball guy because he got a 99-yard reception or a 99-yard touchdown.
DeAndre Hopkins has a whole career being a deep ball. I'm done with this conversation. Let's go on to Corey Davis.
I'm just saying.
Mike's over there
Kyler
like,
Murray-
Got a good brain.
Dude, do you guys not watch fucking Game of Thrones? Sorry, I had to throw that in there. Wide receiver Corey Davis. What's his percentage on?
He is 70+% available in all the leagues.
Which that's a lot available. When he's played, 8 targets, 5 targets, 6 targets, 10 targets last week. He's involved in the offense. How many touchdowns does he have in the year? I know he has 2 or 3.
I think he's got 2.
So
the thing with Corey Davis is he's never been consistent. He hasn't been able to continuously string together games where he's been like he'll have like a good game, but then he'll have a string of games where he's getting you like 3, 7, 9, 4. It's like it was just ugly. But then I don't know where to get you like 20 points. But for whatever reason, maybe just having AJ Brown there as like the alpha number 1, Corey Davis is really just settling in as the number 2, especially with Tannehill being really consistent and really taking that Titans offense to another level with Derrick Henry. But he's had 12 or more PPR points in all 4 games this season that he's played. So he's been consistent.
yeah, just one of those nice pieces to have, and you can throw in your lineup, especially with the bye weeks kind of hitting everybody right now.
Yeah. They play the Bengals this week, and they've given up the 10th most yards to wide receivers. So I'll just go back to that with Corey Davis and Tannehill. who's been hot like Hansel.
Like Hansel. They need to fire Gostowski.
Yeah. That was a really sketchy game. I'm not gonna lie. I thought we were gonna lose.
Yeah, they really need to get rid of Gostowski. He's cost them.
Yeah,
well, he cost them the game, and then
he should have cost him week 1.
Yeah, he could have cost him like 2 games, I think.
Yeah, week 2.
But I think it's messed up to put it all on the kicker, like because that's
what you pay him for.
Okay, but that is his job. But there's so many other things that happened during the game that you're putting it. You're like, okay, well, we all screwed up, so it's down to you. It's up to you. You got to kick this ball in. Like, it's not. I mean, it's not just like he screwed it up. The whole game.
That's what they pay all kickers for.
Yeah, but you're saying.
I think it's kind of messed
Tyler,
up. This is a totally different subject. I think it's messed up that people are shaming Todd Gurley for scoring a touchdown. It's like that's not his fault. That's the defense's fault. The defense didn't have to give up a touchdown.
Well,
that's totally side note.
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is that you are saying that Gostowski costed them the game. No, the Titans not being able to run the ball costed them the game. You know what I mean? There's lots of things that costed him the game. To be like, oh, that was the last play of the game. Costed them the game. Costed them the game.
Costed?
Whatever the fuck.
Sterling he's almost costed him multiple games. I think that's the point we're making with Gostowski.
No,
not just kickers.
I understand, but if you leave the game to your kicker every single game, then yes, you're gonna run into that situation.
Let's just change his name to Kostadgowski.
Kostadgowski.
What do you guys want to talk about? Sterling Shepard.
We'll talk about Sterling Shepard right here. Finally came back in his first game since week 2, this past Thursday night against the Eagles. I mean, I'm not sure. You know, he had 6 catches, 59 yards, and a touchdown, so you like seeing that. He was second in the team in targets with 8, just behind Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram had 9 targets. I'm not sure if this was just more of the fact that, you know, we called it before the game that Darius Slay was going to be shadowing Darius Slayton. So that was obviously going to limit Darius Slayton's upside. And with, if he's kind of, being X'd out, ipso facto, the only other option is kind of Sterling Shepard. Golden Tate's kind of just really non-existent. I mean, would you still be going to add Sterling Shepard here, or is this just – I feel like this receiving core for the Giants is kind of similar to the 49ers running back situation. It's just like a Russian roulette of, like, you just don't know week to week who's going to be the guy to pop.
I mean, yes, this is a hard one to judge because we have limited data with Sterling Shepard this season. I mean, week 1 he had 6 targets, 6 receptions. Week 2 he got hurt, so we weren't able to get a full week 2 out of him, and he's been gone for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever till last week. So we only have 2 full games with him, and he's had 6 targets and 8 targets. I did point out last year that Sterling Shepard only had 1 game he basically every game was 7 targets that he played, minus 1 where he had 6. So it kind of seems like he might still be that norm potentially where he's going to see at least 6 targets and above. But with only 2 weeks, it's kind of hard to say that it's staying true. And Danny Dimes isn't slinging that dick no more. They got it circumcised. So so that makes it kind of hard to trust. But I think he's someone worth rostering, especially more in PPR formats, because if he is going to see, 6 to 8, 9 targets on a given week, I think he could be someone who's usable in PPR. So I'll roster him, and I think you don't have to spend much fab on him. Or I've actually been trying to – I don't make many trades, but there's like a couple players I want to get before playoffs start hitting, and I've tried to package him off the big week.
Yeah, I like it.
I like
it. We'll move on to Jalen Reagor coming off IR. Jalen Reagor. Yeah, he's coming off IR. Does that sound pretty good to you guys? You putting him on your team? You gonna start him?
I mean, I think he's one of those few speculative ads left that has high upside. I mean, I know you didn't necessarily like Reagor in the draft process, but I think you would have to say that I think he's a better receiver than Travis Fulgham. And if Travis Fulgham's going out there and putting up these massive games due to volume, I think, when he comes back, there's potential for Reagor to be the one in this offense, and even or 1-2 punch with Travis Fulgham at least. And then Ertz is gone for 6 to 8 weeks, I believe.
He's on IR for a while.
So it's like, who's going to be the receivers there? They're not activating Alshon Jeffrey, so it's going to probably be Fulgham and Reagor. I almost said Reagor. Fulgham and Reagor. So I do think he actually has some some potential late season upside where maybe week 11, 12, he's someone that you're kind of playing as an RB2 or an RB2, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3. And he has that big play potential. So I'm trying to add him in all leagues. I'm actually trying to trade for him in one league because he's sitting on IR, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll throw that dart.
Yeah. No, I'm not mad at going out and grabbing him. Like Anthony said, Ertz is on IR. Goddard's on IR still. We don't know when he's going to return. I mean, you got Alshon Jeffrey, who, I was kind of joking around saying maybe they're just trying to keep him healthy so they could try to shop him at the trade deadline. And reports came out last week that they are trying to, or they are fielding offers for Alshon Jeffrey. So he might not even step on the field for the Eagles. Deshaun Jackson gets banged up. He's on IR again. So, I mean, like you said, you got Fulgham, you got Greg Ward, who's a shifty little slot guy. But then, Reagor could be the other guy out there. And, I mean, Wentz, he needs weapons. And, they drafted this guy in the first round. They obviously saw something on tape that they like personally as an organization to go out and get him over some of these other receivers. So, I think if he's on the waiver wire, I'm going out and grabbing him. I think the risk, he's got like a high reward for a low risk.
Yeah.
You're a high reward.
That's what she said.
Let's move on to who is this guy?
Hadouken!
Nice.
First name Brandon, last name
Hadouken!
Brandon.
Anthony's favorite drop.
That's the only drop I know how to hit.
Brandon Aiyuk. He did good. He good. Can we talk about how the Patriots are not good anymore?
Yeah, they are.
Cam Newton really blew it. See, if you want to talk about someone costing a game, Cam Newton costed that game.
Yeah, but is it that, or is it that their defense is just depleted? And how they've lost in free agency, COVID opt-outs, and
I don't know, but I'm sick of hearing
injuries. They've lost.
I'm sick of hearing Patriots fans
or over half of their starting off defensive team.
I'm sick of Patriots fans being like, this year has an asterisk. I keep hearing that. This year has an asterisk with COVID. It doesn't count. Like, Like, we're getting screwed by the league.
Yeah,
I've heard this. And I'm like, dude, what?
Everyone has the same bullshit this year.
Yeah, I know. It's like so ridiculous. But, go ahead with Brandon Aiyuk. He good. Who? Brandon.
Hadouken!
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, this would be one of my favorite waiver wire pickups. He's available in over 50% of Yahoo leagues, over 80% in ESPN and NFL. Coming off a career game, 6 catches, 115 yards. And the thing that just kind of helps him going forward is Deebo Samuel left the game banged up. I think he's got the hamstring, coach.
I think it's a long-term injury too. I read.
Yeah, I think it could be missing. Weeks. Yeah, could be missing a couple weeks. So just going forward, Brandon Aiyuk is definitely a guy who's, obviously another talented rookie out of Arizona State that they incorporate in the offense. And he's versatile. Not only does he get catches, they use him a lot on the end arounds. And with Deebo Samuel being out, he had 2 games where he had a rushing touchdown. Brandon Aiyuk did. So I do like some Brandon Aiyuk going forward. I think he's going to be a solid flex guy each and every week.
Yeah, a big play guy. It's and he's going to take those Deebo Samuel end arounds and carries. And now with the lack of running backs that they have, it wouldn't surprise me if, let's just say it's Jerick McKinnon and Jamycal Hasty next week, and that's it. If they don't give him 1 carry, if they give him 3 or 4 in this matchup to kind of just give him give some more explosive play work. And no Deebo Samuel. And the week next week they got Seattle, so. Seattle's going to put up some points, and, I like the upside. I think I'd probably, if I needed a wide receiver, he'd be my priority this week.
Yeah, I would even be trying to go out and make a trade for him, depending on, what the owner wants for him. But I'd be definitely trying to get Brandon Aiyuk on my team.
Yeah.
So you guys don't think Cam Newton costed the game?
You've been sitting on there for the last 5 minutes?
No, I'm just saying. Those 3 interceptions has a QBR of 3.5.
Oh, yeah, I think he looks like trash. You can make an excuse for all this other stuff, but independently, he looks like trash.
Through 3 interceptions, 98 yards.
He costed them a game.
He
costed them a game. Costed them a game.
He cost them a game?
You never go full retarded.
Cost them a game.
Costco?
I'm looking that up. It's not incorrect saying costed.
I don't know.
All right, Rashard Higgins. Talk about him.
So we threw Rashard Higgins in here. A lot of people are saying, OBJ's out, so go get Rashard Higgins because he's going to be, the guy to fill in for him. I think he had a decent game this last week against the Bengals, but he had a decent game with no OBJ, and then he had a decent game when Baker Mayfield had a career day with 5 touchdowns and 300 yards or something stupid like that. So I personally want nothing to do with Rashard Higgins. If OBJ could barely be consistent in this offense, what makes you have any kind of confidence that Rashard Higgins is going to come out here and be consistent week in and week out in an offense that wants to be run heavy.
Yeah, and they should have. I mean, they're looking to have Nick Chubb back after the bye next week. So, actually, Chubb's someone I would probably try and make a trade for right now if you can to get Chubb, because you're only losing him for one more week technically because he has a bye in week 9. If he's back in week 10, if your team is sitting on 5-1 and the 1-6 team or 2-5 team has Chubb, I would go try and trade for him right now, because you're going to be past his bye week when you get him back. So if he's ready in week 10, you'll have him from week 10 on.
Do you think he comes back full Chubb or just half Chubb?
At least half Chubb.
Half Chubb.
But he'll get to full Chubb.
I
just think that run game's different. I mean, Kareem Hunt is good, but it's just a whole different animal when Chubb's there with the 1-2 punch. But yeah, Rashard Higgins, to get to the point of him, I mean, he's kind of just, I'm okay with the ad. I'm not running to grab him. Someone else gets him. I give 2.
How do you feel about
2 proof
Landry
stains.
now going forward? Because obviously,
with
he's obviously the best pass catcher they have now with no Odell. Do you think his value goes up? I would like to think at least a little bit.
Yeah, I gotta assume the target volume goes up to make him a little bit of a safer PPR play. I mean, he hasn't scored at all this year, which I don't know if that's fluky.
The only thing that scares me about go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know if that's fluky or and maybe he's due for more touchdown the opposite way than regression. Positive regression. I always fuck that up. It's like the same when I call what's his name, Philip Lindsay, Austin Eckler, or vice versa.
That's worse than saying costed.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Even though I looked it up.
Hey, but at least I call myself out right now. I don't just, what is it? Urban Dictionary said costed's a word.
Oh, no. Google said that. But
do you believe everything on the internet?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Do you probably think those chicks on OnlyFans look?
Yes,
too,
it
right?
is, but only in specific sense.
Past tense.
Yes. Don't look too far into that. All right.
Hey, actually, go to the real one that's gonna sway it is, can you use costed in Scrabble? I saw that up there.
Scrabble?
Yeah, Scrabble. What did I say? Scramble?
Scramble? I don't know. Is that what it's called? It's the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Scrabble. There you go.
Yeah.
Go to it, Mike. Click it.
Wait.
Right there.
What were you gonna say about Landry in the meantime, Mike? While you're double.
Oh, and it's a valid Scrabble word.
Yeah,
all right.
so
right,
you guys need to calm down.
I'm
That's how we
wrong, dude.
determine if it's a word or not.
Hey, bro, if Scrabble allows it, dude, that's got to be a word.
No, for me, it's like these. I'm not touching any Browns receivers really. Like I have Landry in a league and he's been riding my bench for a while now. I just think that like they've realized that they got to run the ball to win these games, and they're trying to keep the ball away from Baker. I don't know his exact stats on this past game, but Baker does well against the Bengals, and that's about it. And he's already played the Bengals twice, so I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they played that week where it
was like
Bengals
week 2
for like 70 pass attempts.
Yeah, so I just don't. I don't see another game in the future where you're gonna be like, oh yeah, Rashard Higgins is lighting it up. Even any receiver for the Browns, I'm just not excited about. That's all.
I get you. With that, I mean, I'm okay flexing Landry on certain matchups going forward. I've actually heard this, like I've read articles and heard this brought up a couple times. Is that like, I'm curious to what you guys think about it. Is Baker Mayfield essentially has played better without Odell Beckham than he has with Odell Beckham, and like I said, I read some articles and I actually heard it on like another like a football show. They were talking about how like, is it coincidental that Odell goes out and he has 5 touchdowns in that same game, and then his rookie year was way better than it was his sophomore year when he had Odell. And they're like, there's, like I said, I was reading articles where they're saying like maybe like the stress of having to throw to Odell because he's a diva and get him his targets is making Baker not play the way he wants to play. It's like, okay, I have to force feed fucking Odell or he's going to throw a bitch fit in the locker room. And it's like, I mean, I don't know what you guys think about it, but it is kind of coincidental that he goes out and he has 5 touchdowns, and then his rookie year was
it sucks.
his best year that he's had so far.
It kind of makes sense because Odell's older than him. Baker's like a young guy. He can't tell. Like Big Ben is just like, if someone acts like that, he just is like, dude, shut up.
I'll rape you in the
Yeah,
ass.
I mean, I don't know if I agree with that. You see
like,
Kyler Murray yelling at D-Hop over there, and D-Hop said he's never been yelled at in his entire career. So I think
really,
yeah. But
well, D-Hop is older than Deshaun. You know, maybe
I think he was like, respect, bro.
Maybe Kyler Murray is just like, don't.
Yeah, you even saw it on
Kyler
Sunday night.
It's
Yeah,
just
he was
here.
on the sideline. He was screaming at everyone like, "Let's go, let's fucking go, let's get it going." But anyways, I think I said it a couple weeks ago. You know, with the whole Odell thing, it's kind of like a fart, and if you got to force it, it's shit. And I feel like that's what it is. When, like you're saying with Mayfield, when you're trying to just force the ball to a player, you're just trying to make something happen. It's like you're not letting the game flow naturally. You're not really going through your progressions. You're kind of just like, okay, like I have to get the ball to Odell because he's gonna bitch, or we have to make this work. It's like they wanted to make it work so bad that they were doing everything they could to try to make it work, but then like it was making it worse almost in a sense, trying to just force it, making it shit, like I said. So yeah, maybe it is kind of one of those things where I think Baker's a decent quarterback, especially coming off the play action. The numbers said it. He's 10% better in completion percentage off the play action. So maybe, with no Odell, it'll be better. But, I do like Landry going forward. I think he'll kind of be like his safety blanket.
If I'm going to like any of them, for sure, Landry. But
yeah. You could probably get Landry for cheap right now, so I wouldn't mind going out there and, trying to throw a little trade offer and go to get him.
Test the water, stick a toe in.
Yeah.
Ooh, it's cold.
All right, let's move on to the next one here. We got Austin. Oh, we're moving on to tight ends.
Yeah.
We got Austin Pooper.
I was going to say, this is the guy that's kind of been intriguing for me.
Because
I wonder if he's been like out. Well, he had back to, I think 3 games in a row where it was, I think, 50 yards or more. If you want to stat check me on that. I know it was at least 2, right?
He's had 5 catches in 3 straight games. So we threw Hooper in here because he missed the game with the emergency appendectomy. So it was the rookie Harrison Bryant. He came out and had the big game. He had 2 touchdowns. So people might be thinking like, oh, let me go get Harrison Bryant now, 2 touchdowns. Usually that's how people think. I feel like they're just like, oh, this guy had 2 touchdowns. Austin Hooper's out. Let me go get him. But yeah, I would actually be preferred to go get Hooper, like you were saying, because he's being more consistent. He's probably going to miss this week coming forward, with the appendectomy. So he's probably going to miss 1 more game. Then they have a bye. So he'd probably be coming back in week 10.
He might get dropped.
Yeah, he's going to get dropped in a lot of leagues. And I would be snagging him up. I'd go out there and throw a trade for him. If someone has Hooper and maybe they need a tight end, I'm going out there and I'm trying to snag Hooper. So he'd be the Browns tight end that I would want, not Harrison Bryant.
Yeah, he was going to be my love of the week for tight end, but he was like, hey, I got to get surgery. I'm out. I was like, damn it.
I got to get surgery because I said the word costed too much.
Yeah. They say it affects your
larynx.
Appendictum.
Do you see how upset you get? We just making fun of you for saying costed, but then you'll be like, are you fucking stupid? Are you high? You stupid fucking mohawk.
I haven't said that.
But
like,
we can't get mad at you, but you get mad at you. Don't make fun of me for saying costed.
Yeah, because I'm the oldest of 5. I'm the big bad brother. I don't know how to take it. I will
bring it up like 20 minutes later. He'll be like, well, yeah, I'm just on the internet looking up costed again.
No, I'm just saying I was always a big brother, so nobody picked on me. So
oh, dude, hey.
So I don't know how to take it. I'll admit to that. Let's move on to the next one.
Maybe we should hang out with some of these Patriots fans, get some thicker skin.
Irv Smith Jr. Wait, what?
Just because East Coast people usually have thicker skin, they're not sensitive. Like
I don't know, they seem sensitive about this.
This is the one thing where you can get through that skin.
You can't say anything about the Patriots. Anyways, Irv Smith Jr. This was one of Dre's dudes. The Vikings are coming off a bye, so people probably have been sleeping on him. But he's had 10 or more PPR points in the last 2 games prior to the bye week. The second year tight end in Alabama. He's getting a little more incorporated into this offense. Last 2 games, 4 catches and 55-plus receiving yards in back-to-back games. So not a bad little sneaky ad, I feel like.
Sneaky ad.
Sneaky little snag.
I'm a snag.
Gonna be like a buy-in, fill-in.
I'm a snag.
Fill-in, buy-in, fill-in. We got Trey Burton. Everybody was so excited about this guy a couple years ago in Chicago. Didn't work.
I was like, oh, yeah, Chicago.
What are your thoughts on this guy here? Showing up, coming in hot off the bye.
Been getting the targets the last few weeks, and I don't know. I'm not excited to move with Trey Burton. I'm not excited about Phillip Rivers, so it's like.
I know what you mean.
It's like I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I think if you're struggling at the tight end position, injuries, maybe someone you've had just hasn't really panned out. I mean, since he's came off IR, he's led all the Colts tight ends in targets 3 straight games. He's had 5 or more targets each game. Rivers, what he likes to do, he really does lean on the tight end position. And it is a tough matchup on paper against the Detroit Lions, who, prior to this week, were pretty stingy against tight ends. That's why Hayden Hurst was one of my sits for this week. But Hayden Hurst came out and gassed them for 6 catches, 68 yards on 7 targets. So
he said, "Fuck you, Ted."
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at they've had an extra week to prepare as well. So I'm not mad at Trey Burton as a sneaky tight end streaming option this week.
We always say it. It's like it's really hard to get a tight end like that's usable. Tight end landscape every year. It seems like it's always rough.
Yeah. Tight end 5 to 21 could all put up the same points.
Yeah,
like it's literally like that's why it's like, and like not even making that up. Like
yeah,
the 21st ranked tight end could outscore the number 5. It's like after your first like Waller, Kittle, Kelsey,
Mark Andrews.
It's a crapshoot every week.
It's rough. But the thing is, one of those guys, like a lot of times, one of those guys gets added in there every year. So you never know. Jonnu Smith kind of has been bumming me out.
Yeah, well, he got hurt the week before at the ankle, and then he had a couple of bad Tannehill throws where he had because I think I saw all 5 of his targets. Tannehill like overthrew him, and he had to jump up and try and make some catches, like some acrobatic catches. And then Minkah Fitzpatrick held him for a touchdown, so he should have had a touchdown because Minkah came over and legitimately grabbed him to stop him from scoring a touchdown, and then Derrick Henry ran it in. So could have easily had a touchdown that week and a couple more catches, and you'd be looking at it differently. That's why you can't just read the box scores. You got to look at the game tape. Coach.
We threw this in here. Like you said, you'd rather have Austin Hooper, but Harrison Bryant did get things going.
Yeah, I mean, if you need just a tight end, he's more of, like I said, he's coming off the 2-touchdown game. Technically he's listed as the starting tight end with Austin Hooper out. I'm expecting Hooper to miss one more game with the surgery he had on the appendectomy. And then they have a week 9 bye. So week 10 is when Hooper could come back. So I think if you need a tight end for 1 week, he's kind of just like a 1 week rental. But then after that, it should be the Hoopa Poopa Scoopa.
I got a question.
If he's on the waiver wire, scoop him up.
I got a question on tight ends. We're doing would you guys drop Evan Ingram? Because I have.
I mean, I keep playing him, and every time I play him, I'm like, why do I do that?
I mean, it's like 7 weeks, and it's like even when he gets like 9-10 targets, it's like going for 30 to 40 yards. It's like I dropped him last week. I don't know if people are still rostering him, but to me, he's like, I think he's a droppable matchup-based tight end at this point.
I mean, to me, it's tough because he's running a ton of routes. He's still getting the targets. Obviously, they're not really panning out too much, but I mean, there's been some reports that they might shop him at the trade deadline. So I would maybe hold on to him just to see if he ends up in a better situation. I mean,
someone said Pittsburgh.
I mean, if I'm the Bengals, why not make a move and try to go get Evan Ingram, and just throw him in there with that offense with Joe Donkey. So yeah, I'd be holding on to him just for that aspect. But yeah, it is definitely tough. I agree. It's definitely tough to hold on to him, especially with how unproductive he's been.
I have weak.
Yeah, like would you make this trade? Would you offer Evan Ingram to get Austin Hooper?
I would.
I think it's not a bad move. You heard it here first.
Really? I don't know if I would do that.
I think the rest of the season outlook for Hooper is better. I mean,
No, I think the Baker Mayfield played the Bengals. And
I think you need to take your unbiased lens off for a second and look at what Baker's history with tight ends has been. He's had a history with tight ends, and if Hooper is going to be the main tight end, there is a lot more upside than what you're seeing with Evan Ingram at this point.
And he has a 6-week history of not throwing to Austin Hooper.
He had 3 weeks prior to that of 5 receptions. And he came into a new offense this year and had to get accustomed.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Beer bet? Austin Hooper versus Evan Ingram rest of the season when he's back?
Yeah.
Put on the board. Let's do it. You can drink end of season, so let's go. But we have to do long-term bets. It's like you can't drink yet. But when it's over.
I'm about to get Mike fucked up. Anyways.
I was thinking about having a party. All right, go ahead. Defense. We're going defenses to stream this week. Well, first one, we got the Eagles. You threw these in here, so I don't even.
Yeah, I mean, these defenses will vary from league to league, but these are just some of the better matchups going forward for this week if you're going to stream some defenses. I mean, the Eagles are at home against the Cowboys. They might be down to third-string quarterback. I forget. I don't even know what school he went to, James Madison or something stupid like that. But, yeah, Andy Dalton might be dead.
Yeah. They say that back in the day, too, when Cowboys would get lost and stranded and have no water, the Eagles would wait to pick them off.
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, if you're going to deal with like history and science, I mean, why not start the Eagles against Cowboys?
Right. No,
just makes sense.
You're making, actually, geez, I'm going to grab the Eagles defense.
What if someone's like, dude, I started the Eagles defense this week because I heard some dude in this podcast talk about how back in the day, fucking Eagles wait for Cowboys in the desert and just pick them off.
We got the Dolphins defense. Who do you guys play this week? The Rams. Yeah, against Jared Goff. Yeah, you were saying it before we started, Tyler. You don't trust Goff.
I mean, yeah, it's a short week because the Rams played on Monday night. Then they got to travel West Coast to East Coast. I mean, it's hot. It's humid in Miami. LA team's not really used to playing that. And Miami, like I said, they've had an extra week to prepare for Jared Goff and the Rams. Maybe a homer pick, but Miami's defenses look good. With Byron Jones out there, their big money free agent acquisition, they're paying him like $15 million. Xavier Howard has looked phenomenal to me, in my opinion. Obviously, another homer pick.
Wish we had your corners.
He leads the NFL in interceptions. Xavier Howard does. So 2 top 10 corners. Got a bunch of different free agent D linemen and stuff like that. I mean, we're top 10 in sacks. We're top 10 in pressure rate. We're causing turnovers. So yeah, I wouldn't be mad at potentially starting the Dolphins here at home against the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, these are the points. I mean, we pretty much kind of shut Seattle down for majority of the game. They ended up scoring at the last 5 minutes.
No Byron Jones that week too.
No Byron Jordan, and Xavier Howard was kind of gimping in that matchup too as well a little bit. I think he might have got hurt in that matchup, potentially a little bit. But against the Jaguars, 13 points. Niners 17 points. Jets 0, which the Jets pretty much going to score 0 every week. But I mean, the yards of total offense, 318 total, 441 for Seattle, 259, 263. So I'm going to assume the passing yardage for these guys were all under 200 yards. We're getting a lot of pressure. The defense is playing well. I think that travel with Seattle to Miami did play a little bit of a role in Russell Wilson potentially struggling against Miami's defense and now you're coming off a short week. I like Miami's defense this week.
Pick them up.
And there's someone if let's just say they go out and they play well against the Rams this week, there's someone to eye for weeks 11 through 13 or even 10 through. I mean, I know Herbert's playing better, but 11 through 13, kind of a distant if you have a deep bench. They play Denver, the Jets, and the Bengals for 3 weeks, so they could be a defense you could use for 3 weeks straight in the future.
Well, we'll be in Miami for that game.
Yeah.
Bengals, Miami. Yeah, Dolphins defense.
I like it.
What do we got?
Okay, we'll move on to the Buccaneers defense.
Still in Florida,
dude. They're good.
Dude, they say that Florida's hot right now, like Hansel. So you start their defense.
Also, I'm tired of people talking about how the Buccaneers are this crazy team. They do have a lot going on.
There's a lot of hype for them, but I feel like the team that always has the most hype
never
ends up being the biggest disappointment.
Yeah. Mike's been saying that for all offseason. I agree.
Yeah. But their defense has been good, though.
Yeah, they're going to be at New York playing against the Giants. I mean, the Buccaneers they're more owned than not, but if they are out there, you never know. I would definitely go out there and grab them and stream them this week. I mean, their front seven is one of the best in the NFL, and when you think about the Giants' offensive line, they're one of the worst in the NFL. So, yeah, I do like me some Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Early do not start Devontae Freeman.
Yeah, I would not be starting Gallman either. Even if the Freeman's out, I would not be starting Gallman.
Or Gallman or anyone.
That would be interesting. I'm curious to see if Carlton Davis will shadow either Darius Slayton or Sterling Shepard, because it's kind of like if he shadows one or the other, then I would prefer to maybe start the other option because the other one might be limited. Kind of how we saw last Thursday when Darius Slay was shadowing Darius Slayton. Sterling Shepard was kind of left more open.
Yeah, I think Sterling Shepard operates more in the slot, so if one of them's going to get away from him, it's going to be Sterling Shepard. And I don't know if they'll even
they might not
shadow.
Just
to say the least. Yeah, we'd have to look deeper into that.
Might not even want to play that. Start anyone.
Yeah.
Might not want to start anyone.
We got the Chiefs defense for the last one. Hey,
they're about to be back-to-back number one defenses on the week.
Yeah, they play the Jets.
Yeah,
they're home against the Jets. They're minus 19.5. As the early lines have come out.
Is that the first half?
No, they're minus 19.5 points.
That's the biggest line I've seen.
Yeah, in a while, right? So yeah, they're at home against the New York Jets. I mean, if you had the Chiefs defense this week, they're probably a top 20 overall player, right?
Dude,
I lost this week because of that, but also because I didn't play Chase Edmonds.
The Chiefs defense is one of those sneaky defenses where you don't they don't have like the Chiefs defense, but they always seem to put up some type of points. And
well, teams are chasing a lot, and that's the thing is they actually have a good pass defense and a good pass rush. Huh?
Honey Badger.
They have a good pass defense and pass rush, and I was like, that's why I said I was like part of the reason I was benching Jerry Jeudy. I was like, I know they're going to be behind chasing, but it doesn't matter. This defense doesn't give up a lot of passing yards, and it's like so now they have a chance to make plays, so they'll get a lot of like turnovers and sacks and all that stuff, and it adds up. And the Jets, well, if you have Chiefs defense, you're moist this week.
Yeah,
that's horny. All right. Is that all she wrote?
Yeah. I think that's
all I got
all
a question
she
before
wrote.
we stop. What's
All
your
right.
guys'
Steelers.
your temperature on Ezekiel Elliott?
I think that O-line is not as good anymore. I will say, and the game scripts are terrible. I just think. I would try and trade Zeke maybe.
I have him in one league and I'm considering it. I don't know if he's a top, I think he's still in the top 12, but to me he's probably outside of my top 8 going forward.
And I don't think it's on him though.
No, it's not by any means.
It's just his situation right now. But yeah, I'm with you. Like I definitely agree. Like, he's in a weird spot now.
Yeah, and then the thing is like they're having Tony Pollard out there for a lot of these passing downs.
Because I feel like I don't know. Yeah.
I was curious what you guys think about Zeke rest of the season. He's more of like a low end RB1 to me at this point.
If you can trade him and get some value, like if you want to upgrade wide receivers, trade Zeke, and it's something I would have to look up at his like playoff matchups.
Yeah, I know losing, Tyron Smith, left tackle, he's out for the year. Zach Martin, he was concussed, so he missed the game. Hopefully he comes back this week. So you're losing 2, top-tier offensive linemen. Travis Frederick, their Pro Bowl center, he retired in the offseason. So now they're down 3 of their 5 offensive linemen. And if you just watch some of these Cowboy games, Zeke looks really uninterested. He just looks frustrated. He looks like, okay, we lost Dak. We're 1-5 or whatever.
They don't
it is.
like the coach. There's all these rumors about the coaching. They don't like the coaches.
He looks very uninterested. He got paid, so it's kind of like I feel like he's just like, I got paid, whatever. We suck. We lost Drake. We lost Dak. We're probably not going to make the playoffs. There's no real Super Bowl hopes here. Our defense sucks. So I feel like he just kind of is just going through the motions more than anything. So maybe I would try to sell high on Zeke and maybe try to get a little more consistent. Rest of the season, would you rather have Josh Jacobs or Zeke?
I was going to ask that question. I'm going to go Jacobs.
Yeah,
I think I'd go Jacobs because he's still going to see over 300 touches.
They're going to have more positive game scripts, more chance for those boom games. Because Zeke, while he has boom games with Dak, he didn't have like those massive like 40-point Kamara games and all that type, or Aaron Jones games. And it's like we've seen Josh Jacobs do that already twice with these big games. So it's like with the quarterbacks right now, it's like I'll take the chance that Jacobs scores me 2-3 touchdowns in a game where I don't see Zeke scoring more than 2 tops in a game, and more likely he's going to be on the side of 1 or 0 in PPR leagues. That's where he keeps his value afloat. Trying to go through some names. Would you rather have Jonathan Taylor or Ezekiel Elliott?
Ooh, that one's tough. I was looking at Jonathan Taylor's schedule going forward. It's pretty good, and I'm thinking maybe after the bye they kind of
cut him loose.
Cut him loose. You could trade like that.
You could trade Zeke for Jonathan Taylor and then like another pretty decent receiver.
I think you could probably pull a 2-for-1.
Possibly.
I think you definitely
That's not a bad idea, actually.
You could trade for Jonathan Taylor and then get like fucking, I don't know. I'm trying to think like a.
Would you do like Jonathan Taylor? This is kind of weird.
If I could get Jonathan Taylor and Deontay Johnson.
Oh, yeah, I'd pull the trigger if I could do that for sure.
I would do it.
I think it's doable too.
Yeah, I definitely think it's doable.
They
will think that you're getting screwed.
Yeah. Would you rather have? I'll throw a couple more names in the mix of this. Either of the Browns running backs or Zeke.
Ooh.
I think I'm still gonna go Zeke.
I'd rather have Nick Chubb.
Yeah, whenever
he comes back.
I'd rather have Chubb whenever he comes back too.
But Kareem Hunt over Zeke?
Who?
I thought I said that wrong too. I was like, it
wouldn't surprise me if Kareem Hunt outscores Zeke the rest of the way though. But I think I'd rather still have Zeke.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't surprise me if he outscores him.
I'd rather have Zeke than Kareem Hunt, but Chubb over.
This is a name I feel like you could achieve, and it depends if you want to risk it, no biscuit. It'd be James Conner or Ezekiel Elliott. I would go James Conner. If you tell me he's playing the rest of the year, I'd go James Conner.
Yeah, I mean,
Game script's good.
They're gonna,
Because Steelers are winning every game. So
running back on the future Super Bowl champs. team.
Yeah,
I mean, he dropped a touchdown in a pass, and then he got snaked by the snail.
Yeah.
For a 1 yard touchdown.
I just want to make sure if I'm a James Conner owner, I want 1000%. I want Benny Snell on my bench. I don't care if I never have to use him. I just always want that insurance policy.
Yeah, definitely.
No matter what.
Yeah.
What I'll do.
Do you want CEH or Zeke? Zeke.
I didn't like the snap share between those two last week.
Yeah. Are you worried?
Well, I mean,
by the way,
with the game, I mean, blowing them out.
I
and
lost that
snow
bet.
game.
But still, 40% of I think it was like a 6 to 8 or whatever it was. It was too close for the rushing attempts for me, and I don't even think Bell's got incorporated in the passing game.
How many rushing attempts did Clyde Edwards have? Because I lost that bet.
It was like 6 to 3. It was a weird game, but it was still like.
But how many rushing attempts did Clyde Edwards have?
Not many.
Huh. Yeah.
But it was. I'll pull it up right now. But I didn't like what I saw from the splits on the rushing side, and then Bell didn't even get incorporated to the passing game yet. So
yeah,
I'm worried. I know it was a weird game, but I'm a little worried about CEH going forward. I think he's more RB2 at this point. What about a healthy Chris Carson? If he's playing next week and he's healthy the rest of the year over Zeke, I'd go Chris Carson.
I think I'm still going Zeke, just because Carson has always been banged up here and there, and at least Zeke's probably going to play the whole year. I'll probably still just go Zeke.
Mike, tiebreaker?
Chris Carson or Zeke?
Yeah.
Carson.
Yeah.
Sounded like a question.
Question mark?
Question mark?
Chris Carson?
All right, we can call
that was hard for me though.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. But all those guys, I think you can trade it.
Yeah, like if you're on our side, you can make the trade. And to Mike's point, like you can make that trade and probably get a +1. Like maybe you get James Conner and then you get another receiver that's usable. Maybe someone like Jamison Crowder because he's hurt last week. You have to throw that in there as well.
Yeah, maybe Bobby Tree's coming off a dud game.
Yeah.
Maybe I would.
You
Bobby
catch
Trees.
Catch that smoke.
Yeah.
Catch that smoke, Bobby Trees, baby.
All right, boys.
All right.
Just thought I'd bring that up because I feel like that's kind of I was thinking about that.
All right. Well, thank you for listening to the AVG Fantasy Football Podcast. Go ahead, subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts app. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Let us know if you have any questions down below in the comments. Appreciate you. And us big boys are out.